Hey friends, Wayne over here at the Ram Man, here to help you out. So, here's some helpful information. May save you some time, some money, and some grief. So, I'm kind of finishing up this series, and I guess this is the second one. New disc brake kit on the market. So, let's see, it's April the 21st, 2025. Now, if you notice right here, this is that funky, great big old 6-lug, 7 1/4 bolt pattern. This was used on some old Dodges in the 50s and 60s, used on some Internationals, and of course used on the military M715s. Now, you look at the forums, people have been trying to come up with a disc brake kit for this 6-bolt pattern for 25 years. If you look at some of them forum deals, 2004, 8, 10, whatever, people completely baffled. Well, we now have a solution. A lot of you know, if you've watched some of my videos, I am the king when it comes to disc brake conversions for old, antique vehicles that nobody ever even thought about. Just got tossed in the weeds a long time ago. So here it is. Pretty simple. You're looking at it. I also noticed from the forums that people are desperate to find these wheels for these things. Well, of course, eBay has a wrap on it, and those vendors on eBay, they kind of know what they've got. But these 6 on 7 1/4, they've been used exclusively, basically, with few exceptions, on these Isuzu trucks. Yes, these Isuzu trucks for, well, about the last 20 years have used this pattern. And the Fords did in the 80s and early 90s, but they're kind of hard to find. So, but you can go on eBay and you'll notice that the 16-inch wheels, which are the same size as used on the 715, they run about 140, 150 bucks delivered. So, lots of talk on the forums. People have been desperate for wheels and all that. You buy 500 of them if you want to. So the wheels are available. And on the bigger trucks, they use, so the 16-inch wheels are about 150 bucks. And the 19.5s are about 250, 275, depending on what vendor. So, although that may seem expensive, $1,000 or $1,200 for a new set of wheels for a buggy, especially that old, that hard to find, that's a drop in the hat to a lot of people. Now, think about this. When you get to that 19.5, that allows you all the tire selections for that truck, all the 4500s and the 5500 Dodges, 19.5s, all those Fords, F450s and 550s. So once you jump to that 19.5 diameter, you got a lot to pick from, and you're good to go. And it solved that problem of this 6 on 7 1/4. So there you go. Your wheel problem solved. Now, this kit right here, you can slip it underneath an 18-inch wheel, but an 18-inch wheel, not that I know of unless you make custom ones, would fit. So 19.5 inch wheel coming, like I said, used on them modern 1.5 ton and 2 ton trucks and 550s, 450s, and the Dodge 4500 and the 5500. They got them big old brakes and big old rotors up underneath there too. So this is not a Mickey Mouse kit. This is a 14.5 inch rotor. So this means business. It's also 1.5 inch wide. So this is the real deal. This ain't no puny bullshit mamby-pamby stuff. This is the real deal. You bolt this on your buggy and you're gonna have some damn brakes. Go. Can't help it. So here it is. And I guess what we'll do is we'll go ahead and disassemble it and show you. So there it is, bolted up. And of course, like all my designs, I try to keep it just as reasonable as possible. I try to use as many off-the-shelf components as I can to keep the cost down, and of course keep our machine work down. We're so damn busy making hubs that basically, yeah, it ain't basically, everything that we do now takes a back seat to the hubs. In case you don't know us, we're world famous for developing the locking hubs for modern buggies, which uses the factory unit bearings, and we do that for the Dodges, for the Chevrolets. We're the only ones in the world that do the IFS locking hubs, the only ones, and of course we do the Jeeps. So I pulled my 2 locating pins. I pulled my big piston caliper and my pads. I think you see how easy that goes on. And of course, you don't know what we're looking at. We're looking at that Dana 60 closed knuckle, used on the 60s and early 70s on the Fords and used on the 715 military buggy. So this thing is super easy to install. It's going to take you longer to get your damn drum brakes off than it is to bolt this thing up. Yep. Once you get that stuff off, it's not going to take you long at all. So we've already got the rotor off. And what we do is we're going to ship this thing with longer studs, because this rotor flange is about 400, and so it's going to take up some of your space. And if you put some new wheels on there or some custom wheels, you might want a few more threads. So we're going to ship this with 1/2 inch longer threads, studs, new studs, which more than makes up for the rotor thickness. That flange is about 400, 420. Yep. Pop the hub off. There's our hub. And look here. All we really have is a spindle plate, a caliper plate, and specific length spacers. So, there it is. So, you don't have to put these together one at a time like some of our kits. So you can just pre-assemble this spindle plate, slip it on there, and bolt it down. Like I said, this thing's pretty damn simple. If you have problems putting this on, you probably shouldn't be doing any mechanic work on anything. You probably shouldn't be doing any mechanic work on anything. Might want to leave that up to your old lady. Whoops. Did the wrong thing, didn't I? Yeah, I was wanting to check, see if you was listening. So, you don't have to disassemble this whole thing. All you need to do is remove it from the spindle and bolt it on. See, I caught y'all guys, didn't I? You're so damn excited you ain't even paying attention. This took a little bit of work. As you know, I also make the kit to change this over to. I also make the kit. There you go. So, like I said, if you bolt this together, bolt it onto your spindle, put your hub on, set the rotor on. Need to tighten down your rotor so that it ain't all wobbly. A lot of my guys, they'll forget that. Put your couple nuts, bolt that rotor down so you can slip the caliper on. If you've done a few brake jobs and stuff, you'd know this, but I understand some people haven't done a brake job. So, there you go, my friends. So, in review, so, first one in the world, the only one in the world, where you can bolt up disc brake kit, closed knuckle Dana 60, 6 on 7 1/4 bolt pattern. Real deal, modern 14.5-inch rotor. And it's just as simple as can be. Like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory. I hate to beat it, but I've had a few calls lately. Like I say in the instructions, it gets sent on every kit. I send out these little instructions, and the first page is, if you don't know what slip joint pliers are, you probably shouldn't be installing this kit. So, there you go, my friends. And like I said, I also made the 8-lug conversion for the 715s. So if you want to change over to modern hubs, all you need is any junkyard hubs off a 70 or an 80, and you can bolt them on. Use the same kind of bearings. You can bolt them on your 715, and that gives you access to all those wheel and tire combinations for an 8 on 6.5, which opens you up to, I don't know, at least several thousand probably. The only difference is modern hub is about 555 thousandths shorter. So, in order to do it correctly, you just bolt on your 555 spacers, which allows you to keep your axle set up, your four-wheel drive and everything. So there you go. You do that right there, and it matches the factory hub length. So only thing that it does is it moves the flanges in about an inch. For most people, that's not that big a deal. All right, my friends, there you go. God bless you. God bless America. And happy trucking.